Hey guys, this is Red Shadow again, and I'm back with another recent viewing video, and this time it's for a little movie that I watched that was called The Loft. Now, I think I was mainly attracted to seeing this movie because I saw like it had a group cast of some pretty decent named actors. Um, Carl Urban, James Marsden, Wentworth Miller, Eric Stone Street. I don't know how to pronounce Matthias Shan Ertz. I have Rona Mitra, and the other couple names are not really like major names that I know of. But anyway, the premise of the movie was that this guy who's an architect was building he was doing all kinds of projects, but I believe he was also either building an apartment complex, or maybe it was just the loft that he built that ends up being the centerpiece for this movie. But he introduces his bestest buddies to this loft and says, "This loft is for all of us. If you care to use it, you'll have a key, and the loft will be for, certain, private indiscretions that you would not want your wives or significant others to know about," and just kind of tempts his buddies into wanting to use this loft for, illicit affairs and one-night stands and whatnot. And some of them are just like all in right away. At least one of them was like, "No, that's not really my thing." None of them seem to be happy with their lives, with their relationships or whatnot. But that didn't mean that they necessarily wanted to do this. But of course, it wouldn't be a movie if everybody was like, whatever. So in the end, all of his buddies end up getting their keys and using it for different things. Now, I could really just boil the entire premise of this movie down to kind of like one statement. It's one of those kind of sort of somewhat rare movies where bad people do bad things, and you really have a hard time feeling any kind of sympathy for them because, these guys are all dicks. They're not nice people, and it's not just because of the cheating and the illicit affairs. It's some of the stuff that they start to do to one another because of the stress of what happens. Basically, one of them arrives to the loft one morning, and there's a dead woman in a bed, in the bed of the loft, and everybody loses their shit trying to figure out what's going on. And I'm not going to give away the ending to it or anything, but it has a bit of a twist ending, and I was like, okay, that's fine. It wasn't a horrible ending or anything, but it was really unusual, and I guess I just couldn't get over the fact that we were watching a bunch of D-bags freak out over something, and I felt the most sympathy for the lady who you had to watch the movie and understand the context, but even she was not a perfect princess or anything like that. But I guess the things that stood out for me about it, like I said, were the cast and the fact that it had an interesting mystery that did culminate in kind of a twist. But this is a movie where I'm like, okay, I rented it, I watched it, that's it. I can't ever see myself buying this movie unless it was super cheap. It's just not something I would pay $20 or more to go back and watch again at any time in the near future. But yeah, so that's my thought on the Loft. Once again, yeah, sure, check it out, rent it. You might like it, or you may hate it, but it's definitely not going on my shelf at any time in the near future. So that's that for my video on the Loft, and see you guys next time.